Alright, what's up? I'm going to get right into it. We're going to do a back test here for Valentine's Day. I'm just going to do like 10 trades real quick. As you guys may know, I use Riley Botha's Mothen model checklist, but I also use a bit of my own discretion, so I want to give a shout out to him. He put me on like using internal and external SMTs. My dasher's on the way. Fuck. So, there's that. So, I've used his model SMT-wise and then learned from PB trading how to use like higher time frames. And then I used a lot of what I've learned on my own for draw and liquidity bias, predicting setup, stuff like that. That's a lot of what I've learned. So let's get into my thought process. So starting off, I want to get a daily bias. I'm just going to be picking random days here. So it seems like daily-wise, we are clearly in an uptrend after reversing here, shifting highs. So we look pretty bullish on the daily time frame. On the 4-hour, why the fuck is this shit so off-centered? So, we ended up hitting this hourly gap and then getting an immediate reaction off of it. London low is a internal low, which is a low inside of a higher time frame gap, which I love. We do have this high right here. We have this high right here on the hourly. So a couple interesting signs. It looks like we end up just pumping at open here, which kind of sucks. Yeah, like we have this low here. If we could sweep this internal low with an SMT at open, or maybe hit this 15-minute at open on ES, then I could see myself taking longs to my bullish draws. So let's see what happens at open. Okay, so we miss. Oh, wait. Okay, so we hit the gap on ES. There is a internal SMT as well. So that's pretty money. Let's get this SMT. Let's get the 1 minute going. Let's see if we have a setup here. So when do we hit the gap? We hit the gap right here. Sadly, I don't think it's going to let me see the 30. That's so fucking annoying. Okay, whatever. So when do we hit the gap? We hit the gap right here on ES and we start fucking mooning. And then we get no setup. We get this little retrace here. So I might try to catch this retrace move. This might be a discretionary trade, but it's fine. So we open up this 5-minute, but we don't open it until we hit Asia. This is beautiful. SMT, following my bias. I'll probably take a discretionary if we tap into this 1 minute. Okay. Tapped into the 1 minute. I don't care that we inverse this to the downside. If anything, this is just a retrace. We made this bullish leg up. We're tapping equilibrium and a fair value gap. I'm bullish, so I'm going to look for a long out of this. There's no 30-second, but I'm going to assume there's at least a 15-second gap that gets formed here. Okay, we made a 1 minute anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'd want to see this 1 minute get inverse. I'd probably already be in here, assuming there's a lower time frame for value gap. This gap is getting respected on the higher time frame on ES. We have an internal SMT. We have bullish bias. We have obvious draws above. So I'm going to assume I'd already be in here. We'll see how this closes. I'm going to say I get in right here, and I would probably take this to my first draw, maybe a stop like right below this low, and then I'd probably leave a runner for my next draw, that hourly, what the fuck just happened? That hourly high right there. So let's see what happens. Okay, so first draw gets hit, second draw gets hit. Seems like we respected this bullish for value gap to continue us higher, so it ends up being 2.2 RR. What day was that? January 7th was that? Okay, so that's pretty nice. So yeah, just let's go over the checklist. I want to see rejection out of a higher higher time frame PD array, which to me is really like a 15-minute gap or above. That is also following, draws that I want to see. So, targeting external liquidity or a draw on liquidity that I predicted pre-market. The thing with me, guys, all my trades look the same because I predict them before it happens. If you're in my free Discord, even my free Discord gets these daily bias every single morning. Every single morning around 9:15, 9:20, I drop my daily bias, and it's literally what I want to see because I mark out my draws on liquidity beforehand, and I only take trades if I predicted them pre-market. I don't take trades unless I was like, I want to see this level get hit, and the reason why I do that is because it helps me eliminate what's it called, like forcing a trade or trading within a range or something like that. That's why I do that. So that way I know going in that my trade is a high quality trade. This was a great discretionary trade, respecting this 1 minute, and I just noticed this. We made an internal SMT when we respected it, so that's pretty money. So let's look at the checklist. Rejection out of the 15, internal SMT. External, I'm not sure. I think it was a 15-minute external, so that counts. IFEG on the 1 minute and the 30-second, I'm assuming. And then amazing targets, the draws that I literally drew out pre-market. We see new highs get hit, and then the reason why I target what I target, right? The reason why I target what I target is not just for any random reason. It's because I think we are going to then reject off of those targets, so I don't want to be in the trade any longer. So let's see if we end up so luckily I didn't take this trade, but as you can see, we end up getting a sell-off of about 45 points here off the level that I targeted, and there was even a setup off of it that ends up getting fucking stop rated, lol, and then hitting. I'm assuming after we make an internal SMT. Yeah, so we made an internal SMT and then it ran. So, yeah, I mean, that's why my draws are what they are. It's because I think that price is going to stop moving after we hit that. So that's the first trade. That's a W. Let's go to another random day. I don't want to do a day in the government shutdown, so I'm going to avoid October and part of November. Okay, so this is a Thursday. Let's get our daily bias, as always. Okay. So pretty accumulative on the daily. I like this internal low on the daily, so that'll be maybe a draw. Maybe we go towards that. We're also respecting this 4-hour gap and sweeping London on the 4-hour. I don't know if that happens before open or not. Oh yeah, that happened well before open. Okay, so we're extremely bearish today. Let's see if there's an external SMT. Doesn't look like a great sweep of Asia. Wow. Okay, so this is pretty butter. Okay, we're inside this 30-minute at open. None of that doesn't really matter to me. Yeah, I'm not very bullish here. I like this 30-minute gap. It's not bad, but I'd want to see us inverse both. What gap is this? Is this the 4-hour that I had us respecting? Yeah, it is. Okay, so I'd want to see us inverse this 30-minute to the downside and get back underneath this 4-hour and respect it in order for me to take shorts. So I want to see a sell-off at open here, which I guess we do since we saw the 4-hour candle. So there's a sell-off at open. We're back below. I'd love to see a really uncorrelated right now, actually. Crazy SMT with pre-market. So I'd maybe want to see this 5-minute get revisited, but if not, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so we're just fucking bleeding. Let's see if there's a discretionary setup. No, it just looks like we're fucking accumulating. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. I really wouldn't want to take a trade. Let's look at draws. I wouldn't want to take a trade unless we just hit this low. Unless we hit Asia, or if we hit this daily low that I have marked. If we get a setup off of Asia, maybe I'll try it out. Because then we'll probably be hitting an SMT. Okay, we just missed it. Okay, what the fuck? So there's this 15-minute above we might respect. See what happens there. There might have been a little 10 a.m. setup that got us. That is the reason for this. Yeah, it was a 10 a.m. reversal, clearly. The question is, off what? What did we reverse off of? Did we hit something on ES, maybe? This is why I fucking hate backtesting, bro. Like, sometimes I just... Yeah, god damn it. We hit this 15-minute... I literally remember this trade. I took this trade. So, this is what happens at 10 a.m. You guys are going to be like, oh, fucking hindsight demon. I hate to break it to you guys. I don't give a fuck what you think. So, I probably wouldn't take this trade until we're back above London low. But, basically, right at 10 a.m., what does 10 a.m. do, right? We AMD. We accumulate... We manipulate, and then right at 10 a.m., we distribute off a liquidity pool. What happens right at 10 a.m.? Well, we hit a 15-minute gap on ES. We get an internal SMT. As you can see, we don't take out this low on ES, but we do on NQ. And then we are below London, so it may be a late entry, but I want to see us get... I want to see us get London. This internal SMT doesn't hold. I want to see us come back above London to give me strength in the momentum of the trade. And then let's see, do we have unfilled gaps above that we could target, like a 15-minute or a 5-minute? We have this 15-minute right here. So I'd probably just mark that. And then is there a 5-minute? We're trading into a 5-minute, interestingly enough. I'll probably mark that and maybe go break even at that first 5-minute. I'm saying this like I didn't take this trade. I did take this trade. So what I put my stop, this is important actually. Stop loss placement. Let's see here. So where would I put my stop loss on this trade? Everybody always says put the stop loss below the low or put it below the liquidity pool. And that's true at times. I like to do that. But when your stop is this fat, and I'm not really like, oh, we're going to come all the way back here. Like, I don't know if we're going to come all the way for this 15-minute. I really have no idea. Like, I may just be like, I want to scalp below 1-to-1. And since we have amazing momentum and we're pushing up with this IFEG, I might just quickly scalp, put it like 1-to-1 at this unfilled 5-minute, or maybe give this a little more room. So it kind of depends on the close, where the gap is in the leg, stuff like that. You know, if this inverse were to happen like down here, then yeah, I would just put my stop below the low. But it didn't. It happened way higher up in the leg, way more momentum. I'm riding the wave right now. So since we're closing above this gap with such good momentum, I don't want to see this lag back below and then go. I want to see us keep pushing ASAP. With this 5-minute unfilled being here as well, I'd probably just go 1-to-1. Obviously it hits. I'm almost 100% sure I took this trade. What would I do as a runner? Would I keep a runner? I'd probably leave a runner to the unfilled 15-minute above for 4RR. Does it get hit? Probably not. Oh, it does. Okay, interesting. So why is this trade good? We're displacing with amazing V-shape back above London. We're getting a 1-minute inverse. Rejecting out of a higher time frame, 15-minute on ES. I don't think there's an internal SMT. I think I ended up being wrong about that. There's like a little one right here if you want to even count that. So we'll count it. Fuck it. Internal SMT. External SMT, I'm pretty sure, yes. But let's make sure. Yeah, there is. Because we were taking out lows from Asia that were not even near on ES. So external and internal SMT, IFEG with great momentum. External liquidity, yes, we have unfilled gaps above, which are great targets. And this ends up mooning for a win and a 4.2 RR. What day was that? 11th of December. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Okay, so, yeah. So, that is the annoying thing about backtesting, is sometimes you just miss shit because you're just going too fast. But for me, you always have to be careful of gaps that ES is hitting. We just had a trade the other day that people were taking. I literally bet I can find this shit because I didn't trade this week. I was just waiting for NFP. Dude, fuck. Nah, it wouldn't have been this far below. Maybe it was in the premium chat. Yeah, it was this. So, the reason this trade didn't work, or was it this trade? I forget. No, there was one trade where, like, it was literally, it stopped. It was this. People took this long and then got manipulated, and then it ended up mooning. Why? Because there was an unfilled 15-minute right below these lows that we just missed, and we manipulated up and then hit it and went. You need to be careful of all those gaps. If you're taking a trade, like for example, if I got long right here off this move instead of below when we hit the 15-minute, then you're probably going to get stopped out because it's probably just a manipulation move to then hit the target. Like, for example, like, when we come down and then we make this move up, like, no, we're not ready. We want to hit that unfilled gap and then go. So if your stop loss is right where an unfilled gap is, or, like, a low that is protected is, like, you should probably halt on the trade and wait for the manipulation move. And I've always said this. The reason why you should do that is because, let's say, oh, man, I missed a trade. Maybe it didn't want that unfilled gap and it displaces without me. Then, bro, just wait for a gap to open and you'll take the retrace. You know it's going to go in that direction anyway. Then who cares? You miss the initial move, you can always get in on a retrace and take a continuation. It's as simple as that. And also that 10 a.m. AMD, right when it's reversing right at 10 a.m., that's how you know it's fucking butter. So, yeah. Let's try another December day. Daily bias, as always. Let's see what's going on. Pretty cumulative. We have this unfilled daily gap, which, you know, shitty part about backtesting, clearly it gets hit. But it looks like we were making moves down to it anyway. We're also hitting this internal low on the daily, so I want to see us displace down below that to make sure that we are actually fucking bearish. So once we are like actually displacing below this, that's how you know you're good to go. So this is why draws on liquidity are so important. Here's this hourly that we end up inversing. Looks like even, you know, before open. So, I mean, this shit is so obviously fucking bearish. It's like the most bearish shit I've ever seen in my life. The reason why why I wouldn't be like, oh guys, let's take a trade off of these lows like London and Asia. Aren't you supposed to long off session lows? No, dickhead, because my draw is still lower. All right, why is it that we would? Oh my god, are these equal lows? Kind of relative equal lows. Yeah, these are money too. These are great draws as well. I literally want all of these lows, everything here to get hit. So if I don't get a sell to here, I'm gonna be fucking heated. So let's see if we can open up a 5-minute and get me right. But we're probably gonna sell off super aggressively. Okay, maybe there's a discretionary trade here. Oh my god, there is. I'm blessed. I'm actually blessed. So here's why drawn liquidity is so important. The reason why I wouldn't take this trade to London or Asia low is for the sole purpose of, and after this trade, I'm going to cut it out, but I got to go get my food. It's outside. The reason why I wouldn't take these off there is because remember what I said about draws on liquidity? I take them to places where I think price is going to reverse. I'm not confident that Asia and London is where we're going to stop because we have these, we have to get below the daily low again. We have to hit these equal lows on the higher time, and we have to hit this unfilled gap. So, and this sucks because you saw it hit the daily gap on the daily chart anyway, but it's just a fact that this is just going to be a fucking obvious sell-off towards that anyway. Also, we're backtesting. I'm sure there was a 30 or a 15 second here, but the 1 minute is as good as it gets. So, like I always take it 1-to-1, no matter where the target is. I will always take dollars off at 1-to-1, and then I'll leave a runner literally all the way for probably the equals. I probably wouldn't leave them for the daily unfilled just because we could sell off at the does. So this would be a 6 RR trade. Okay, so TP1 gets hit. Do I get stop break even or do I actually become... Damn! There's no way. There's no fucking way, right? I'm actually sick to my stomach. I'm sick to my fucking stomach. I just got fucking stop break even on this trade by 4 points and then it ran for 6 RR. And then it ran to the unfilled daily. Super obvious setup. Now let's talk about it. Is there an SMT on this trade? I'm not really sure, but it doesn't really matter. So let's see. I'm not sure. I wish I had the higher time frame so I could see, but I really don't know. I'm pretty sure there's an external SMT, but this is really just draws on liquidity and following your bias. It was so obviously fucking bearish here. So we'll just call this a 1-to-1 trade. Was that December 15th, 2095, W, 1RR. Super annoying. But yeah, this is why draws on liquidity are so important, guys. Because you could take a trade, and like I said, your target should always be places where you think we're going to reverse. I said we're not going to reverse at London or Asia because we have those equals and we have that unfilled gap below. As you can see, we didn't even fucking react to them. People think, oh, because it's an hourly low, we're going to get longs off of it. Because it's an hourly unfilled for value gap, we're going to get longs off it. Which, hey, sometimes we will. But if there's obvious targets below that, you should try to target those things below it. And then you could end up doing this and catching the whole fucking move of the day like I do here. Now, when I say discretionary trades, I'm saying, you see how this says rejection out of a higher time frame PD array? Yet I took it out of a 1 minute respect, wherever it was. I think it was here, or here, one of them, or here. Fuck it, bro. I don't know. Any of them would have worked, obviously. But the reason why this works, and the reason why I call it discretionary, is because I'm saying, listen, my bias is so strong and my draws are so strong to the downside that I'm not going to wait for a 5 minute to open up. What would have happened if I waited for a 5 minute to open up? I would have gotten along here, which, funny enough, still would have fucking worked anyway, it seems. Let's see. Yeah, you would have gotten this 1 minute inverse. So I don't want to hear you guys talking shit that like, oh, no, discretionary entry. Yeah, either would have worked. Also to the equal lows, this would have been 1.16 RR. Fuck you. So The reason why I go discretionary is because I say I'm so confident in my draws on liquidity that I'm not going to wait for a 5 minute to open up. I'm going to try to get in as quickly as possible. I still get my FEGs. The targets are the main thing. That's the biggest thing. I think there was an external SMT, and I'm rejecting out of higher time frame PD arrays on the higher time frame. I'm rejecting out of a 4 hour. I'm coming back towards the daily low that we had shifted. So we sort of shifted the daily. Let's say this is the daily low. We sort of shifted it, retraced, and now we're coming back to continue going below it, right? So yeah. All right, I'm going to go get my food. I'll be back in a sec. I'm going to cut this out of the video. All right, we're going to do like 2 or 3 more days. But hopefully this is making sense. Let's go back to January, like January 27th. Did I do that day? Okay, no. But yeah, obviously, as you can, holy shit, as you can see, like I really just do the same thought process for every single day. Coming into the day, we have these daily highs above. We have equal highs on the daily, which is pretty nice. And then we have this unfilled gap on the daily as well, right above these equal highs. We're V-shaping, so I'd want to see all of that get ran. We're expecting an unfilled 4 hour, so bullish bias, super. Obviously, just letting you guys know, yes, I will take a trade if it's against my bias. I mean, like, I'm not a fucking dumbass. Unfilled for value gap here. So, yeah, don't think that I just marry my bias, and you shouldn't either. That would be pretty fucking stupid. Oh, looks like we get an SMT doing this as well when we hit this. Okay, so this is like the most obvious long I've ever seen in my fucking life. I already know it's gonna print, so here we go. Holy fuck, this is such a good trade. I literally might come. Like, I might jizz. I mean, I'll leave this for the rest of eternity. Watch this. So, stop it. Stop. We'll target 1-to-1, which literally gets hit instantly. And then your boy gets break-evened again. Are you fucking kidding me? Watch this. Okay. Dude, fuck my asshole, bro. This is some bullshit. I feel like I'm a fucking bottom ticker, bro. Alright. 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 Alright, bro. Alright. It swept these lows. It should hit now before the day ends. I would never hold a trade this long, bro. I'm just letting y'all know. And plus, I would have to get out before 4, which is right here. We'll probably hit it right before the day ends. The high. Nope, I was wrong. Okay, so obviously this ends up going crazy. You could have taken it to the first high as well for 3RR. What was the end of day RR here? 3.76. What was this day? January 27. Okay, so let's talk about this trade. This is fucking A+, bro. I don't know why I got so hyped there, but this is so obvious. We're extremely bullish. We have great daily highs. It's draws. I mean, fuck me so hard that we edged it, but I mean, super obvious draws. Respecting a 4 hour gap like this is fucking money. So what do? We respect a 4 hour. We get an external SMT. We tap into a lower hourly. I mean, fuck, bro. This shit is so good it's got me stuttering, right? So, let's also talk about it, right? Get back over here. What do I always say that I want to see off of a liquidity pool? I want to see a V shape. If I didn't take this, I'm going to be so fucking disappointed in myself. January 27th. Yep. What do you know? I practice what I preach. You know what's funny is I think I actually took this. Funny enough. I think I took this long off open. That's actually hilarious. So I knew it before it even happened. I got it off the initial 4 hour tap, not the move lower and then the tap here. So I was still bullish. I do practice what I preach, guys. I promise. So what I always love to see is V-shape off of a liquidity pool. So this is fucking money. External SMT. External SMT. Let's see if there's an internal. Doesn't look like it. So no internal SMT. But I mean, this is pretty money. We're accumulating pre-market, not really making any moves. I wouldn't call it an AMD model because we did make a move up here and then go lower. So I wouldn't call it that. But still, quite fucking fantastic. Great liquidity pool reaction, checking off basically every box, amazing targets above. I mean, that's a fucking A+ setup, man. So let's just do one more for you guys. Hopefully you get the gist, though. Let's do one more December setup, like December 3rd, and then let's get the fuck out of here. December 3rd, didn't do that yet, okay. Alright. Can we get a loss? Holy shit, this is a sell-off. I actually do want a loss because I want to show you guys what a good loss looks like, and also, obviously, I don't have a fucking 100% win rate. Okay, so, am I bullish or bearish? Well, we're respecting this ES daily gap really well, as well as this NQ daily gap really well. This is a little before the trade that I took earlier, so obviously this is kind of bullshit because I know that these highs aren't going to get hit because, you know, we already did this. So anyway, this is what I like to see. I like to see, oh wow, we left equal lows, or did we make an SMT? Kind of relative, but we'll call it an SMT. So what I want to see happening here, this is a internal low on the hourly. It's inside the hourly gap. It's pretty fucking nice. However, we have these relative equal lows. So if I want a long, I want to set up an immediate reaction off here. If I want a short, I want to see us shift this low first and then get a retrace and then target these lows and maybe even this low here because this is, I believe, the daily gap. I forget. So what do I want to see it open? I want to see a retrace into a big ass fucking gap. It looks like we opened this 15-minute right at open. So if we could respect this 15-minute with an SMT, I'd look for a short. See what happens. I'm assuming we're going to respect it. I mean, it's right there. Here's open. I guess I did this a little too early. Okay, so what happens? Pretty obvious open. What is this, an internal high? Let's see if we get an SMT with it. No, so we swept this internal high. Respected this 15-minute. I now want to see an inverse and a momentum candle coming down. There it is. Stop above the high. And then I'd target this liquidity. Let's talk about, I'm kind of taking this because I kind of wanted to lose, but it's still a good trade. Let's talk about it, right? I'm hoping this loses, to be honest. Okay, good. Okay, so it lost. Let's talk about why this lost. Your boy is so goated, he loses on purpose. But let's talk about why this lost. Why did this lose? Well, Jesus, why can I not speak today, bro? This is just not enough manipulation for me to want to take this trade. Because what did I say before? I said I want to see us shift this low and then retrace and get this. But because we already hit this low on ES, it's hard to say that we're going to be bearish, you know, because you could argue, well, maybe we just over here made an external SMT and now we're just going to be bullish from now on. So what I'd want to see, like I said, is us start to shift higher time frame structure for me to be like, okay, it's time to take a fucking sell. What this setup is here is my idea of taking a trade too early or rushing a setup, because what happens? We don't have any SMT. We're respecting some pre-market 15-minute that is just fucking nothing to us, literally nothing. As you can see here, we respect the 50% of it, and then we probably start to sell off here. Let's see if we open up a 5-minute and respect it. That wouldn't be bad. Okay, yeah, like this. So now that we start actually shifting structure and opening up 5 minutes, I can say, listen, we're probably just going to be bullish for the rest of the day off this sweep and external SMT. So these longs would actually be better because we're not forcing it. We have confirmation, because this setup, it gives us no confirmation. I said, listen, I have bearish draws, but only if we could start shifting these lows. My bullish draws are still here. I mean, we have equal highs at London. Like, it's not like we have nothing to target on the higher time frame. And then as soon as I see we're lagging, we're not making actual reactions off the 15-minute gap, I can say to myself, I don't think sellers have much confidence here. We hit this 15-minute gap. Do we get an internal SMT? I don't think so, but dude, actual like death mode for internal SMTs. I'd probably get in here anyway, but we'll just say there's a gap here. Put my stop below the low. 1-to-1 target. And let's talk about real quick once again why this trade is better than the other. Where would I leave my runner? Leave it to the equal highs on the hourly. So let's talk about it. Why is this trade better than the other? Like I said, we're rushing. Okay, we have no SMT on this trade. We're sweeping some random 1 minute liquidity. We have no confirmation on the higher time frame that we are going to shift these lows. Remember what I said? I said I want to see us shift these lows to make sure that we're bearish. We didn't shift the lows. We didn't even go near them, actually. So now that we're making bullish moves, I can say, okay, I don't think we're going to shift those lows anymore. I think we reacted to them. We made an external SMT. At the start, at open, we could say, oh, this is a manipulation move and we're going to come down and take them. But now what's the key factor that that's not true anymore? Well, it's simple. It's us opening up the 5 minute gap. What does that mean for me? It means that order flow is flip bullish. We have enough momentum to say, I was just making sure my mic was on. If it wasn't, I probably would have slimed myself. So that's me just saying, listen, we're going to be bullish because we have enough momentum to now start making higher time frame gaps. Now that we're making higher time frame gaps, we can say to ourselves, okay, now we are respecting this hourly. We have an SMT, and instead of my initial bias, and this would be an example of me saying I don't marry my bias, my initial bias saying we're going to shift, now I finally have the confidence to take a trade. So what would I say pre-market? I would probably say, listen guys, shorts look good. I'm bearish. I want to see us get under these lows and then get a little retrace and go for my draws, which are down here. If we don't go towards these lows and we edge them and start getting bullish momentum, then I would want to see a continuation setup on the 1 or the 15. And if you go to my daily buys, you want to think I'm fucking bullshitting, we could go to literally anything. I always say if we get a trend, as for longs, I wouldn't want anything. Let's see if I say it here. Yeah, look, if a crazy pump or dump happens at open, I'll just look for retrace entries. I literally say it every time. Only trade I take it open is this. I'll stay patient and wait for a continuation short. If I'm wrong and we pump it open, I want to see full shifts before I take a continuation trade. What do you know? The same shit I said. I'd only take a continuation trade if we shift this low, and I'd only get a long trade if I'm confident that we're now not going to hit these lows. So what do? We respect the 5 minute. Rejection out of a higher time frame PD array with the 5, external SMT coming out of a 1 hour sweep, IFEG, external liquidity above, no internal SMT, the only negative of the trade, TP1 at 1-to-1, leave a runner for external draw, let's see what happens. TP1 gets smashed instantly and then we get stopped, break even on the runners, let's see if these end up hitting today or not, or if we just accumulate. Holy shit. Oh my god, slime me. This would be a 7.5 RR trade. Holy shit. Like I said, we would get out at around 4. I think it hit. Oh yeah, it did. Okay, so yeah, it ends up hitting for 7 RR after break-evening me by... I can't even say that this was like a bullshit break-even. It almost fucking stopped my shit. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. You could call it a win. You could even call it a loss. I wouldn't call the first one a loss, but fuck you guys. Since everybody's going to be on my dick anyway, I'll just call it a loss of 1 RR. So what's the final stats? 4 wins, 1 loss for 80% win rate. Let's do the RR math. I don't even know what the fucking math would be on this. I think I'll just add it up. So we did 3.76 RR plus 4.24 RR plus 2.27 RR, and then the ones cancel. So we end up going plus 10.77 RR off 5 trades. This is very, very, like, you know, how I look at the market and how I predict shit before it happens. It's just the way I trade, and I'm really, really satisfied with it. I did this shit at midnight on Valentine's Day, so if you don't believe that I'm good at trading, I mean, what the fuck does that tell you? Clearly I'm good at trading because I'm a fucking loser. So yeah, I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's just trusting the daily buys, trusting your drawn liquidity, and saying, listen, I think we're going to hit these targets, or I think we're going to reverse off these targets, marking them pre-market and saying I'm only going to take a trade if these get hit and we get reactions and we get confirmation. You know, I always look for 3 things. I'm looking for momentum. I'm looking for correlation, you know, between ES and NQ. Are they correlated or uncorrelated? Momentum as in reactions off of those levels that I look for. And then, fuck is the other one? It's fucking volume. Like, there's a difference between momentum and volume. Volume meaning, do we die off after we hit a level, or are we actually still getting orders filled? And momentum meaning, are we coming off the level and pushing through and maybe making 5-minute gaps that we can retrace into. So yeah, that's it. It's my back testing, and hopefully you guys got a better deal of my thought process. All right, catch you.